Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Cameron here today, joined by Mikyx, support for G2 Esports. Hi, man, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. How about you?
Pretty fine, thank you. So let's begin talking about your team right now and the state of the LEC. How does it feel to be on top? And I want to specify that this is not intended as a compliment, because being on top, I've always heard about the feeling of being the best team, but also the fear of lacking preparation for international events, and MSI is getting close. So how does it feel to be on top?
I mean, more than anything, just feels relieving mostly because last year it was a bit hard because we were like kind of in the middle of the pack and it was even hard to get playoffs. So knowing that we already qualified for playoffs and everything is like more relaxing. But yeah, definitely, I guess if the competition is not as good in the EU, we'll probably play worse internationally. But I'm hoping that when we do go to international events, that we're gonna improve a lot during the boot camps, which I think we always do. So I'm not that worried about, I guess being first, even though I think Rogue is pretty good competition. I think they taught us a lot, especially in scrims. I think they play a bit worse on stage, but yeah, I guess we'll see how they do in playoffs.
All right. Talking about playoffs, how do you feel? Of course, what can you see about it? How do you feel your play style will change trying to adapt to BO5 instead of BO1?
I think we're gonna play pretty much similar to what we did now. I think we kind of prepare. I mean, we're kind of drafting as we would in the best of fives. I think we're preparing a lot more than we used to. Like last year, for example, we kind of take it a bit more chill, and then just kind of drafted whatever we thought was good. But now we have a lot of draft talks like through the week, and we always talk together what we think is strong. Whereas last year it wasn't quite the case. So I think for players it's going to be similar. We're going to have a few champs that we think are strong, and we're just going to probably draft around those. And
talking about now the bottom lane more specifically, you started working with Reckless inside G2 this split. And we've seen, from our point of view, Reckless bringing a more peaceful playstyle, controlled playstyle, especially with his Senna and his Jhin. So, what changed for you? What changed for a support that used to support a very hyper carry oriented style with perks, and now is working with a more slow paced playstyle?
I guess the difference is that we are more stable in lane. I also have more free time to roam. I think he is like very good at knowing when to call me if I need to be bot, and otherwise just telling me that I can do whatever I want. It's gonna be fine alone. And I think it also kind of is dependent on meta, like how we play.
Right.
Like if there was, I don't know, more like Kalista, I don't know, but like just a different meta where champs like Jhin or Senna would not be as strong. We'd probably be fighting a bit more in lane, but since those are decent and we know that if you get to lane kind of even, we're probably going to outscale and win the game, then we just have to adapt. And I think we are very good at knowing when we should play aggressive and when we should just like chill out and know we're going to outscale and just chill.
How's the communication with Reckless? You talked about specifically when you have to roam and when you have to go back to lane. And we've seen this especially with the match against Rogue last time, with you roaming mid lane level 2 with Leona, and him out farming Caitlyn in the 1v2 Jhin versus Kate Morgana. But in the mid game, when the macro gets more stuck around objectives and team fight, how's the communication working?
I mean, in mid game, it's kind of like everyone communicates a lot. Usually, whoever is the strongest in the game will try to dictate how the game wants to be played out and play it around himself. So, yeah, usually we just are even in bot lane or ahead in CS. So we just go mid, and then we play to whatever is our strong side, and the other guy is chilling. And then everyone talks about when objectives are spawning, so we play around those. I need to keep talking about when I'm basing for wards, or if I want to look for a fight or whatever. And we also need to discuss what power spike we have on items. So when we want to fight, I guess. But I guess everyone kind of contributes a lot in mid game.
And talking about everyone contributing, I want to talk not about the 5 men inside Summoner Rift, but all the G2 team with the coaching and the analyst staff as well. We are working here in Italy with Noodles, and we are seeing and hearing a lot of tales from your team. But I want to talk more specifically about Grabs. Yeah, of course, there are a lot of memes, and of course, you're gonna lose draft because your coach is Grabs. But how do you feel working with Grabs for so long? Right now, he seems the perfect fit for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy working with Grabs just because I think he is very knowledgeable about the game, so he can also contribute in reviews. I think he's smart about draft, unless we want to int him and then blame it on him. And I like that he can take it if he needs to take one for the team and says like, it's my bet, even though our players just like, we had a bad read of the meta or we just wanted to pick something that was troll. Sometimes he does troll a bit himself, but that's to be expected. And I think he's very good at leading discussions. And yeah, I think he's doing a good job.
And talking about the very strong social component of G2, every player is very interactive with the community on social media. Everyone is really exposed personally about his playstyle. You talked about taking the blame for the inting in game or in draft or things like that. I mean, everyone seems to be on the same side. And how everything is impacting your playstyle and your mental state inside the game?
I mean, I guess inside the game, usually try to have fun as much as we can, I guess. It's hard when you're behind to have fun, but usually, and that usually just in scrims, it's like a bit less fun. But like on stage, we still manage to talk a lot, even when we're behind, and everyone tries to work out how we can win. And yeah, I think everyone is kind of on the same page in terms of we know when it's too much, when we like mess around too much, and we start being serious to actually close out the game because sometimes we get outscaled, or we could get outscaled. But I think so far we've been good at kind of like handling it on stage. At least on stage, we usually close out the games when we need to. I think when the Mitsutu game was like a game where we kind of trolled around too much, and then it took a bit longer than expected. But yeah, most of the games are pretty decent.
Last thing I want to talk about are the other teams, not only in LEC, but all around the world, since we are getting close to the first international event of this year. Who are teams that you respect the most out of the LEC environment, looking at the playoffs? And what are the teams that you respect the most, talking about the world state, talking about LCK, LPL right now? Who do you fear the most to face in MSI?
So I think first off for LEC, I think the biggest competition are Rogue and Fnatic. I think Fnatic is probably going to be stronger in playoffs if last year's anything to go by, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think Rogue is just a solid team. I don't think they should have struggles in playoffs, but we'll see about that. But then for international tournaments, I'm looking forward to play against teams like, I don't know, Damwon and FPX. I think those two are the ones we watch the most from other regions. But it'd be also nice if Cloud9 makes it from LCS, so then we can play Perks. But yeah, I think those are the teams that we're looking at.
If you're gonna face Perks in MSI, are you looking forward to that duel as a challenge, as someone you have to prove to be better right now, or do you just are you just going to enjoy a nice match with a former teammate and friend?
I'm just gonna enjoy a nice match, and I assume there's gonna be a lot of all chatting, so we're gonna bant a lot in the game. I don't think they have much chance of winning the games, so like I'm gonna just enjoy it, and yeah, hopefully they don't take it too bad when they lose.
All right. Mikyx, it was really nice talking with you. I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the split and for the upcoming international events. And thank you very much for all this precious insight. Hope to see you again here.
Thank you.